you've seen kind of on social media as well as just all over the place today, people criticizing President Trump because it seems like when there is a event abroad or here that involves an Arab, immediately he tweets out and talks about, we need to get tougher, and we need even calls of ramping up the war on terror. But when there's white terrorism, because that's what today was, when there's white supremacy, when there is fascism, when there's the KKK involved, he likes to tweet out and pretend, we need to stop hate on both sides. Well, the hate today was on one side. The driver who ran over these poor people was not with the anti-protesters. He was a white supremacist. So you're going to see, I can't really count how many people here, but definitely a couple hundred, maybe even over 1,000 people. A lot of them are from the conference today. It looks like there's also people who are just joining in from downtown Atlanta, and they're starting to march right now. They're going to be marching down to City Hall. You see people with the megaphone here, love, not guns, and all this came together really quickly.
Personally, I'm both shocked, I'm horrified. It's not free speech. What happened in Charlottesville, it's hate speech. I also happen to be Jewish. This is a really intense moment for me, and to see swastikas up again, to see hate speech, white supremacy, which is what it is, and Nazis. And to have the president say both sides is crazy, and now to say he's sorry about the death of the police, which is not happening, is insane. And so we need to come together, and we need to fight together. And if this means us keep going, we're going to keep going. So right now, we're united. Right now, we will not let that happen again. And honestly, nobody should have let that happen. Nobody should have protected what was happening last night, because it's not free speech. The ACLU should not have protected what happened last night. It's not free speech, it's violence. A car ran into people, they're fighting more, and what they're pushing is hate speech. So, no, I don't feel okay about it, but I feel amazing about what's happening right now. And if people don't recognize that this is happening and they don't see the silence that's coming in from the Republicans, then they're crazy.
I also would like to see how the police response is going to be after this. What happened was pure violence. We see people promoting, free speech, you have to let people speak. What happened was violence. What happened was purely to inflict terror and bring back images from a bygone age. Watching angry, racist white men walk through communities with torches harkens back to an era where my grandparents and others had to live through. You know what I'm saying? So it's traumatic on a whole new level for many people.
So thank you for what you're doing right now. Do you feel like this is enough, right? We're going to march, we're going to go. What do we need to do next? What has to happen this week?
I mean, what I would really love, and I challenge all the organizations that have been involved who are out here right now, Netroots Nation, the local Georgia groups out here, DFA Action, folks who are speaking right now. I would love to see some type of follow-up about what people can do with concrete, real action. Not more language, not more petitions, but what can we do to actually organize in our communities collectively as a whole to really stamp out the vestiges of what has been a blight on our democracy.
It seems like the president today didn't come out as strongly against white terrorism as he does other sorts of terrorism.
Our president is a man who is gifted at signaling and dog whistling his population. He didn't come out strongly against those people because he doesn't feel strongly against those people. We are his threat, but we're also ultimately what will take him down.
Do you think we're beginning to look almost like a racist country to other countries?
We've always looked like a racist country. The Band-Aid got put on temporarily many, many decades ago. Trump's election ripped off and told those people they could come out from under their sheets and come out from hiding. And if we're going to beat this back once and for all, we need to own as a country that the rest of the world has always known that this was the darkness at the heart of the American dream and the American vision, that this was a country built on genocide and racism, and that far too many people unconsciously, not deliberately at fault, have been trained for hundreds of years that it belongs to them against anyone else.
I've seen a different response from him when there's terrorism from Arabs or incidents with African Americans. He's strong right out of the gate on that. On this, there's hate on both sides and blah, blah, blah. What are your thoughts on today?
Obviously, Trump has a blind spot when it comes to domestic white terrorism, and that's not something that we can stand by, because terrorism is not about religion. Terrorism is about who is here making it dangerous for people to live their lives as free Americans. And today, that meant white supremacists driving through a crowd of people. It meant people being beaten up in the streets for just having a different color of their skin. Donald Trump has no idea how to handle something like this because he's on their side.
I really appreciate Trump in a lot of ways because he actually embodies and exemplifies outwardly what is really going on with so many people, you know, who are in our governments, who are running our countries. And so instead of the political approach that is taken in order to ensure that, you know, you say one thing on the outside, but while you're doing, you know, this back deal, behind the scenes, dark things, you know, that people can't see, he's saying everything right out there in the front. So people are having much harder time to actually imagining or pretending that what is and what people in my communities and other communities of color are dealing with is not real. So I appreciate that, and I also I say it's almost like a healing. It's like bringing out like the nastiness, and that's a process to get you to like health again. So you know, all of these things that are happening, it is a healing process. But the only way the healing happens is if we keep pushing, you know, in response. So it's like you have like those unhealthy cells that your white blood cells are going in to attack. And that's what's happening here. They're coming up, and we're going in to. It is the white cells that take care of it, right? Or is it it's the white cells? Right?
So you're kind of. It's kind of like it has to get worse before it's going to get better.
Well, it's going to look worse. It's not really getting worse. It's the same as it's been. It's just that it's now like if you have an illness and it starts to come out in your skin, and you start having pox, and you know you start having bumps, and you deal with it. You see it now. Then you actually do the work to actually begin that process of healing it. So it's been there. But now there's more of a healing process because more people are involved and engaged. All these people who would have been pretending, you know, that we had equity, equality, and justice, they're gone. They can't do that. They cannot do that in the face of what's happening right now.
And you got the usual chants that you've seen a lot of these rallies.
No Trump!
I am somebody, and I deserve equality. Right here, right now. I am somebody, and I deserve equality. Right here, right now.
Right now, in the White House.
White supremacy is the oldest and first form of organized terrorism to inflict the stolen lands now known as North America. Period. So for all of you people who are into petitions and are making phone calls, call your lawmakers, call your mainstream media, and tell them to refer to what happened today as an act of terrorism. Period.